Chapter 11, Lesson 2. In this lesson, we're going to be discussing the importance of body image and then some of the extremes that some people might go to maintain a certain body image when we start looking at different types of eating disorders.
I'm so unhappy with myself, and the world is so shallow that it's taught me that my body is who I am. My appearance is who I am, but I don't like the me inside.
I always want to get bigger, more cut, more defined, everything. I'm never usually satisfied with my body image.
I always feel like I can get stronger and bigger. I actually feel like I still need to get bigger.
I don't think any teenager can look in the mirror and say that they love themselves completely.
It's just constantly on everyone's mind.
Everyone's worried about what other people think about you.
What they say and think kind of influences how you feel about yourself.
I had one friend who I was really close with who was a horrible influence on me to begin with, but she actually would tell me that I was fat and that I was the fatter one.
You start thinking all the time in your head, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat.
And after a while, if you really think that, you're gonna start seeing it.
Some of the influence comes from their peers, but I think most of it's from media, like magazines or television.
The most common diet mistakes: how to look 5 pounds thinner. It's not a health magazine, that's a way to make money.
You're not sitting there thinking, oh, that's airbrush, oh, that's fixed. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about, why don't I look that way? And it does make you feel really bad.
You see the way that they look, they have the muscles, they're popular, and you're just like, maybe I need to look like that.
Whenever they close up on any of the players, like basketball players, the football players, you see them, you look at their arms and their bodies, it's like you just see nothing but muscle.
And they think, okay, if I gotta succeed, I gotta be that big.
And they think they can't do it naturally, so they use steroids.
For us to worry about our body image 24/7 is not really good for anybody because it makes us lose focus on other things that we have going on in life.
I would start hiding food. I'd be like, oh, I'm getting this piece of pizza for my friend, but in reality, I knew it was for me because I just didn't want to be judged.
Probably lost 10 pounds of body weight, and everybody's like, your shirt used to be tighter, what happened to you?
You tend to lose control, and you feel like your body is the only thing you can control.
And I think that that's why I take it out on my body, because it's so much more straightforward.
Everything else becomes so distant for you and you can't focus on anything.
And you really don't think about the future, you think of the present, it won't mess up my life, and really it will.
It becomes an obsession. You're never good enough for yourself.
A lot of interesting points made in that video that we just got done watching. One of the biggest things is when people are unhappy or unsatisfied with their body, there tends to be an uncontrollable thought process where we're thinking about it all the time, we're insecure, and unfortunately some people are willing to do really harmful or potentially even illegal things to maintain a certain body image. So as we see here on the left hand side of the screen, body image is defined as the way that you see yourself. Many people are insecure about their changing bodies, and that's common with teenagers for both males and females. The sooner one accepts their body, the happier they will be. Nobody's going to be perfect. It's important that we understand that we look at ads and things on TV and whatever. A lot of them are computer enhanced, influenced by models, athletes, actors, and the media. And overweight and underweight teens may feel pressured by their friends and others to potentially look a certain way. So in the upcoming slides, we're going to talk about dieting and then some of the extremes such as anorexia, bulimia, and possibly even binge eating, different types of things that people might choose to do because of the insecurities they have with their own body image.
So what's wrong with fad diets? They don't work. Now, many of my patients will argue with me. I had a patient in the room the other day who said, I disagree with you. I've lost 20 pounds on the Atkins diet 3 times. And I said, do you want to repeat that? It didn't work for you. Each time you lost the 20 pounds, you gained it back. So This is not an area that has not been studied. We know without any question that regardless of the fad diet, whether it's the Zone, the Atkins, the blood type diet, the weigh down diet where you pray before every meal to ask God to help you to eat fewer calories, whatever it is, it doesn't result in any sustained weight loss. The problem is that weight loss is a very complex issue, and programs really need to be tailored to an individual if they're going to work. So my recommendation for dieting is to talk to a doctor. Go in with a 3-day diet log. Show him what you're eating already. Have him help you craft a plan that is individual to you. That has a much better probability of success than following one of these silly fad diets, which, again, have never been shown to result in any sustained weight loss.
Fad dieting, as we can see, is a weight loss plan that tends to be popular for only a short period of time, just like a fad with maybe how we wear our hair, to the type of pants we wear, whatever. That fad is in today and it's out tomorrow, and that's true with a lot of diet plans out there as well. That there might be a diet out there that sounds great today, maybe we try it, maybe we lose a few pounds, we feel good about it, but as soon as that diet comes to an end, most people will probably put that weight on and possibly even then some. So typically they promise quick, easy results, usually lose weight temporarily but regain when the diet is over. That process is called weight cycling, where it's a repeated pattern of losing and gaining, and those different types of extremes can actually be very harmful to the body, can pose serious health risks, and most teens should not diet. The biggest thing that we're trying to instill in you guys as students is the fact that we want to develop a lifestyle where we're eating the right kind of foods, we're eating the necessary calories, where we're maintaining a certain level of activity so that we would never have to go on, quote unquote, a diet. Different types of fad diets that are out there that we sometimes see in ads and whatnot. There's the miracle foods, where these diets tend to promise that you can burn fat by eating lots of single types of foods. The biggest thing, guys, is any type of diet that's asking you to restrict or to eliminate one of the 6 essential nutrients. It's not a good diet. And there are no such things as miracle foods that if I eat a certain food it's going to burn off fat and so on and so forth. Magic combinations is another type of fad dieting where certain foods will trigger weight loss when combined with other types of foods. We have the liquid diets, replace solid food with ultra low calorie liquid formulas, maybe Slim Fast or something like that. Those might be good if they're like a meal replacement, but they're not necessarily the types of products that we should be consuming day in and day out. Possibly we use those as a snack or something like that. They are typically low in calories, but many times those liquid diets or those liquid type of formulas, they're missing many of the essential nutrients that we need. Diet pills. Obviously, we're never going to advocate somebody taking pills or drugs or medications as a way to suppress an appetite or to prevent someone from eating. The biggest thing is, once again, it's understanding what are you eating, how much are you eating, and maintaining adequate levels of activity. And then fasting. It's never advised, never recommended that somebody starve themselves or somebody fast. Skipping meals, skipping calories is not recommended, and actually what we're doing is we're depriving the body of necessary nutrients. But at the same time, when we fast and we skip meals, deprive our body of needed nutrients, what our body tends to do is our metabolism slows down. Our body doesn't know when the next meal is going to come, so we tend to hold on our calories for a longer period of time. So really what's happening is we're slowing down our metabolism, and the weight we're going to be losing, it's going to be muscle weight rather than fat weight, so it's going to have really an adverse effect on our bodies.
Is the battle to be thin compromising your health? It may be. Anorexia nervosa has the highest mortality rate of any psychiatric disorder.
While most people think of anorexia as an eating disorder, in actuality, anorexia nervosa is a psychiatric diagnosis, one which describes the eating disorder we commonly call anorexia. Mentally, people with anorexia suffer from body image distortion, which makes them feel perpetually overweight, even when they are actually very thin. Because of this skewed body image, anorexics are continuously focused on attaining a low body weight, often severely limiting their food intake. Anorexics may also exercise excessively, abuse diet pills, or induce themselves to vomit in an attempt to lose weight. Sadly, continuously starving the body can be physically devastating. Over time, anorexics can experience low blood pressure, a slowed heartbeat, stunted growth, a weakened immune system, and tooth and bone decay. If left untreated, anorexia nervosa can lead to death as the body gives in to literal starvation. Some research suggests that people prone to perfectionism, depression, or anxiety may be more likely to suffer from anorexia, but there is no single cause for the disease. While 90% of the people who suffer from anorexia are female, and adolescent girls are the most likely group to be affected, the disorder still affects many different kinds of people. Nonetheless, women who participate in a job or sport that emphasizes body size, such as modeling, gymnastics, or ballet, may also be more likely to be anorexic. Regardless of the cause, if you think you or a friend may be suffering from this psychological disorder, willpower alone may not be enough to stop it. In fact, it's vital to seek immediate counseling and medical care from a doctor or your college's health center.
The next slide is going to discuss bulimia. There's probably not a lot that I need to add in regards to anorexia. The doctor did an excellent job. Just understand that anorexia, it's an irrational fear of weight gain. We talked about it in unit number 2. It is considered a psychological disorder, but many times we talk about it during the fitness and nutrition unit, so we wanted to make sure that we were also made aware of it during this unit as well.
Bulimia nervosa is the most common eating disorder seen among college students. Could you be suffering from bulimia?
Bulimia is a complicated disorder, and many people who suffer from it are of a normal or even slightly larger than normal body size. This psychological disorder is characterized by an obsession with eating a large amount of food at once, often called binging. A binge is different than normal overeating. For example, during a binge, a person might consume an entire cake instead of just an extra piece. After binging, bulimics feel guilt, shame, and anger about their actions. As such, they will purge the food from their systems, often by self-induced vomiting. Bulimics may also use excessive exercising, diuretics, laxatives, or enemas in an attempt to lose the weight from a binging session. But bulimia has a profound effect on the body. The acid from vomit can lead to tooth decay, gum disease, and loss of tooth enamel in bulimics. Other, even more serious complications can result from repeat binging and purging, such as osteoporosis, kidney damage, heart damage, and even death. As with anorexia nervosa, people with bulimia may be prone to excessive worry, depression, or perfectionism. Bulimics tend to have an unhealthy body image, but often appear of fairly normal size, despite the disorder. Because bulimia nervosa is a psychological as well as a physical disorder, it is not curable without support. If you think that you or a friend may be suffering from bulimia, it is vital to get support from a doctor or from your college campus's health network.
The last thing we want to talk about in this particular lesson is just looking at binge eating. Anorexia and bulimia are very common. They've been around for a very long period of time. But the one thing that sometimes, or the one eating disorder that sometimes is overlooked, is binge eating. We have just as many people who struggle with this one as well, where people typically, as we can see here, we have people who overeat compulsively. They can't get themselves to stop. Unlike someone with bulimia who might have a binging episode and then maybe they purge, someone who binge eats is they're going to have repeated binge episodes. They're going to eat a large amount of food in a very short period of time. Consequences of binge eating, as we can see, will be overweight, obesity, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, osteoarthritis. The list goes on and on and on. So all eating disorders are very serious. All of them will require some sort of psychological evaluation and some sort of psychological counseling. But whether it's anorexia, bulimia, or binge eating, all of them pose very serious health consequences to the body. And it's really important that if you or if you know somebody who's struggling with one of these disorders, that you seek help as quickly as possible.